Good morning, parents, teachers, and friends. Welcome back to Canisius Education Fair 2020. It's an honor for me, Emmanuel Otniel, to host you in this wonderful event. And right now, we are going to hear the presentation from Sampoerna University, University of Arizona. And without further ado, I would like to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Marshall Scott as the president of Sampoerna University, and Ms. Hilary Fans as Senior Director, Southeast Asia Program and Outreach, UA Global. Okay, Mr. Marshall and Ms. Hilary, the stage is yours.
Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm going to talk for just a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to turn the presentation over to Hilary. And I don't really want to talk about either university. I don't want to talk about university at all. I just want to say a couple of things about why it's so important for young people in Indonesia to pick the right university and study the right things. And it has to do with a skills mismatch that we have in Indonesia between what's taught at Indonesian universities and what the real world needs. We know this from data. We hear this from the president. We hear this from various ministers. Last year, over 750,000 university graduates were unemployed after a year. It's a big number. I think it's something that parents and students really need to be aware of. And when you look at Asia Development Bank, they said about half of all university graduates are either unemployed or underemployed after a year. The reason this is happening is because they're not learning relevant skills. And so when we talk to you today about what we offer with the University of Arizona, it is a curriculum that prepares graduates for the world of work in the 21st century. Critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration. You've heard these things over and over again. The US curriculum is the best in the world at building those competencies. And so, again, I'm going to turn it over to my dear friend, Hilary. And if you can tell us about the University of Arizona, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall. As I mentioned, my name is Hilary. I am the Director for Southeast Asian Affairs at the University of Arizona. So I work with students coming from Southeast Asia to our main campus, but I also work with our partners in the region, including Sampoerna University. And we've been working with Sampoerna for several years now. So I'll talk to you a bit about options you have to get a University of Arizona degree, both on the main campus in the United States, but also at home in Jakarta. So you have multiple options here. So this is just a photo you can see of our campus. It's a really beautiful campus. If we go to the next slide, we have a short video about Sampoerna. Sorry, so that was a video about the University of Arizona, but it does mention our locations abroad. So where is the University of Arizona? You may not be familiar. Most people do know California, so you can see that right next to us there in the dark blue, Los Angeles and San Diego. And then our state is in red, and we are in the southern part of the state in Tucson. So here you can see, we have a Pacific-centric map. You can see how you get from Tucson to Jakarta. Next slide. So we do have the highest graduation rate in the state of Arizona. There are a number of universities in our state. You may have heard of some of the other ones. And then these are our most recent rankings. And actually for 2021, US News and World Report has also put us in the top 100. We also have our students ranked as some of the most employable graduates. So something that Marshall touched on was the importance of your education to your future prospects. And we can tell you that the University of Arizona will prepare you for that. It's a great return on your investment, what you spend to get your education. And all of our students have engagement with either career fairs or internships. So you're going to come out of your education prepared for your next step. At the main campus, we have over 100 majors for undergraduates and 200 master's, doctorate, professional programs, so graduate programs. We have students from over 120 countries. About 10% of our student body, about 4,000 students, are international. It's a 375-acre campus, but it's right in the middle of Tucson, so you're never too far from anything. We have a small student to faculty ratio, so you're going to get that attention that you need. And we have over 600 clubs and organizations for you to get involved in. Sorry, the top subjects at our main campus, you can see a list of them. We have a lot of students that want to do business, that want to do science, engineering, law. It's a comprehensive university, so you can really study anything that you want. You can do a major in one area, a minor in another. You can change majors halfway through. I did that when I was in college, so you really have an opportunity here. You're not limited, and you have access to a lot of different areas. So those are what's available at our main campus. So we also have two options for you to get an Arizona degree. You can either come to the main campus, so you'll be admitted to the University of Arizona, you get a UA degree and you're studying here in the United States. Or if you want to stay in Jakarta or even start in Jakarta, you'll be admitted to both Arizona and to Sampoerna. You study at Sampoerna's location. You're taking classes from University of Arizona and classes from Sampoerna University. And when you graduate, and it still only takes you 4 years, the same amount of time that it would take you to get the single degree in the US, but you're actually going to graduate with 2 degrees, one from Sampoerna and one from the University of Arizona. So this is what we call a microcampus. So we've been partnering with Sampoerna University. You'll study on their campus. You study from professors on our main campus and professors at Sampoerna. So you're getting that attention. You're getting to get US credits without leaving home. You're able to learn in both contexts. So you get your US education, but you're also able to apply it locally, especially if you want to stay in Jakarta. This is a great opportunity for you if you want to earn your degree closer to home and save money, but maybe eventually transfer or go abroad for a graduate degree. This is a great opportunity for you. You're going to get an Arizona transcript, a Sampoerna transcript. The degree is exactly the same as if you would get if you came to main campus. It doesn't say, you know, microcampus on it or anything like that. It is the real University of Arizona degree that you earn, but you have the option to do that in Jakarta. So this is the general structure. In years 1 and 2, if you're studying at Sampoerna, you'll be taking their classes, and then after the first 2 years, you can either continue on at Sampoerna and be admitted to the Arizona major that you choose, or you can transfer to the University of Arizona in Tucson, or you can take your credits that you've earned because they're US credits and transfer anywhere you want because the courses are recognized everywhere. Currently, we offer 3 dual degrees. We're adding more next year. So we have industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, and business administration. And we're also going to add more programs next year, including electrical and computer engineering. This is just a photo when Marshall and I were recruiting in Indonesia. It's been a while since I've been back, hopefully next year. So you have the option, if you choose to enroll at the microcampus in Jakarta, you do have the option to come to Tucson. You can either transfer if you would like and complete your degree, or you can come for like a study abroad semester. So you can come to Tucson for 1 semester at a reduced rate because, as I'll explain in a moment, the tuition rates, if you're at the main campus, are different than your tuition rates at a microcampus. But if you're enrolled in the microcampus and you still want to get that experience a semester in the United States, you can do that and we will discount the tuition for you. And again, this goes back to Marshall's points about preparing yourself for your next steps. So what you're going to get out of this program versus if you were to maybe only study locally is you're going to work on your English language skills, obviously. You're going to have career opportunities. You're going to be able to study abroad if you would like. You can go to our main campus in Tucson, Arizona. You can also go to any one of our other micro campuses, and we have them all over the world. You're going to have higher income earning potential than graduates from other universities. And your curriculum and your courses are really designed to develop your critical thinking and problem solving skills. And this is something that our students at our micro campuses always cite as one of the main benefits of the curriculum, is they're really challenged and it really sets them apart from other graduates. So if you come to main campus, this is the annual breakdown of costs. So you have your tuition and fees, you have your health insurance, which is required in the United States, and your estimated living expenses. So your room and board, your books, things like that. Again, this is before scholarships. I'll talk about scholarships a little bit, but just keep this in mind because I'm going to show you the difference if you study in main campus versus if you study at Sampoerna at our partners. So if you decide to study for your U-Arizona degree in Jakarta, you're only going to pay $11,000 a year. So in total over 4 years, you're going to save almost $100,000 US by earning your UA degree in Jakarta, because you're not going to have to pay the health insurance. You're not going to have to pay your flights over there. Maybe you're still living at home, so you're saving on room and board, and the tuition is significantly less. But as I mentioned, the degree is exactly the same. So you can either look at it at $11,000 a year for 4 years to get your US degree, or maybe you just do a year or two and then transfer. You're still saving a really good amount of money by studying at our partner location. And we have this option because we believe this is a great opportunity to expand access and for more students to get the U-Arizona degree. So if you do decide to come to main campus, we do have scholarships available. So for both incoming freshmen, so if you come right after high school, and for transfer students. So if you decide to spend a year or two in Jakarta at Sampoerna and then come to University of Arizona, there are still transfer scholarships available. They do depend on your GPA. You are not required to submit a test score, so we don't require SAT or ACT, but if you take them and you submit them, you have the option to qualify for additional award money. So there's a breakdown on our website which shows a GPA chart without test scores and a GPA chart with test scores, and it can show you, you can know even before you apply how much you would qualify for. And those are annual awards. They're renewable for up to 4 years. So if you want to stay connected and learn more about opportunities, obviously we have our main Arizona website, arizona.edu, and our U-Arizona social media. These accounts here are so you can learn a bit more about our location in Jakarta at Sampoerna University. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can always email us at uajakarta@email.arizona.edu. That's the email address that I will check if you have any questions. And then lastly here, there's a QR code you can scan if you want to get started with your Sampoerna application. That's the first thing you would do if you wanted to do the dual degree program with us. You would actually apply first to Sampoerna. So with this QR code, you actually get a free application fee to Sampoerna. And there's no application fee when you apply to University of Arizona through Sampoerna. So that's the presentation, another nice view of campus. We hope that this gave you some things to explore, to think about, whether you come to main campus or you decide to study with us at Sampoerna University. We wish you the best of luck making your decisions.
Okay, is it done, Miss? Okay, thank you very much, Miss Hillary and Mr. Marshall, for the very, very interesting presentation. And I think right now we can go directly to the question and answer session. And if you don't mind, let me read the questions for you. Okay, so for the first question, it comes from Ignatius Brancay. Maybe this question is more suitable to Mr. Marshall first. So for the first question, does Sampoerna University provide astronomy or aerospace major, sir?
We don't, but it's one of the things that's really great about the partnership that we have with the University of Arizona is Hillary mentioned, the first 2 years that you do at Sampoerna would apply towards your degree at the University of Arizona. So you could do 2 years here and then go finish your last 2 years at Arizona. And again, you'd save about $50,000-$60,000 in tuition. I do have to say this too, by the way, for the University of Arizona, they're top 5 for NASA funding. They're top 20 for National Science Foundation. They're top 5 for astronomy and aerospace. So those are really excellent majors for you to look at. One of the best universities in the world to study those particular subjects. But again, you could do 2 years here. Your credits are going to count. You'd go to Arizona, you finish your degree in 2 years.
Okay, so just to confirm that after they are graduated from the Arizona, and then you can say that the chance of getting into NASA is a little bit higher than other university. Am I correct, sir?
I would think so, because of the relationship that they have with NASA. They do a lot of NASA-funded research. They do a lot of National Science Foundation research. You'll have an advantage competing for those kind of jobs with a University of Arizona degree, because it is one of the top universities for NASA funding.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And we're gonna go for the second question from Daniel Parman. And I think this question is more suitable to Miss Hillary. So do we have to adapt to the heat, weather, and others if we want to, if we decided to learn in Arizona, Miss? Because you know we live in a tropic place, and America is not a tropic place, Miss.
Yes, and certainly Tucson is not a tropical place. So I actually spent the last 3 years in Cambodia, and I spent a lot of time coming down to Indonesia. So yes, the weather is different. We have the same kind of seasonal monsoon, but not nearly as much rain. We are in a desert, but as you can see, you know, while maybe the desert is still very beautiful, the summer is very hot. So in summer, you know, you'll spend a lot more time inside, but the rest of the year is extremely beautiful. A lot of people actually retired to Arizona because the weather most of the year is so nice, and it's never going to get that cold. So if you were to choose, you know, a school in New York or something, I think the adjustment would be a bit more than if you come to Arizona.
Okay, Miss, maybe you can share a little bit more about the social life in Arizona, Miss.
So we have a very active campus. As I mentioned, there's hundreds of student clubs. We also have an Indonesian student club on campus that's quite active. But there's, you know, Greek life, there's clubs for your major, there's music clubs, theater clubs, sports. We are actually a very active campus because the weather is so nice. There's a lot of biking and hiking. It's a great food destination. Campus is pretty well contained, so you can, you know, live on campus and everything that you need is right there. There's always something to do. We're very big on sports, especially Arizona basketball and football as well, but mostly basketball we're really well known for. So you're never really going to get bored at Arizona.
Okay, thank you, Miss. I think I will go back to Mr. Marshall about the NASA one, sir. Is there any alumni from maybe Sampoerna or from Arizona who works in NASA, sir?
The partnership's only, I think, 3 years old. We just graduated our first class this year. We've got about 60 students who are graduating from the University of Arizona in Jakarta. And then there are 3 other students who are actually finishing up in Tucson. But they've all been engineers, mechanical engineers, industrial engineers, and business majors. As Hillary mentioned, we are adding electrical and computer engineering next year, as well as applied computing or information systems. So anyway, they're just graduating. The UA students here are just graduating now.
Okay, sir, I want to ask, sir, it's actually a question from Michael Darmawan. So does Sampoerna University have a partnership with top companies, sir?
Yeah, in fact, when we talk to students, one of the things we emphasize is that in the 3rd year of everybody's program of study, they do an internship, and we have really a fabulous relationship with all of the major employers in Indonesia, all of the top multinational companies, all of the top unicorns. They will have our students do internships in their third year. And most of the time, those companies are going to hire them when they graduate. It's one of the reasons we have the highest employability of any university in Indonesia, because of that relationship that we have with major corporations. All the big accounting firms, all the big consulting firms, all the big industrial firms, all the financial services companies, Tokopedia, Bukalapak, Gojek, you name it, we're working with them.
Okay. How about Arizona University, Miss? Can you name maybe some big companies in partnership with Arizona, Miss?
Yes, so we, I would say it's through the departments, really. They have connections with a lot of the companies in Tucson. So we have some really big employers in the Tucson area, particularly the business and engineering and law. But then a lot of those departments, for instance, our Eller College of Management, which is our business college, they have very active alumni associations in New York, on Wall Street. In Los Angeles, we have a lot of, we have film and television programs that have a lot of students go to Los Angeles for internships and jobs. And so those connections are very active. So I would, and as I mentioned, every student at the University of Arizona has some type of engagement activity, either internships or some kind of career development during the course of their program. So that's built into every program.
Okay, Miss. Moving on to the fourth question, actually. So this fourth question comes from Reinhard Benedict, and I think it's more suitable to Miss Hillary. Hello, I would like to ask if there is there any scholarships there, and or any special requirements to apply to University of Arizona, Miss?
Sure. So I don't know if we can go back in the slides to the scholarships page, but basically to qualify for a scholarship, it's going to look at your GPA. So the higher your GPA, the more scholarship money that you would qualify for. And we do not require an SAT or an ACT, but if you have those can qualify you for additional scholarship money. So it's called the Wildcat Award. And so those are available on our website. I'm happy to share that information. So you can, there's a whole chart and you can actually look up your own GPA and your test scores if you have them, or just your GPA if you don't have test scores. And it'll tell you exactly what you'll qualify for even before you apply. So there's no guessing. You'll know what scholarships you apply for. And this is for main campus. This is if you come to the University of Arizona, because the reality is even with scholarships, it's going to cost you more to go to main campus than it will if you go to Jakarta, to the Sampoerna University to take the University of Arizona program. So we don't have scholarships per se for our programs in Jakarta because they're already significantly discounted. So these awards are for main campus, but again, no test scores required. We do recommend them if you want to qualify for more scholarship money. Really no special kind of requirements. You know, we do require English proficiency, but we have a lot of different ways that you can satisfy English proficiency, including our own test that you can do at a distance and only costs $40. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. But really we have enrollment counselors ready to talk to you. They're available, you know, pretty much around the clock. And we have someone specifically for Southeast Asia. So if you do want to come to main campus, we have an enrollment counselor that can walk you through the whole process.
Okay, Miss. How about the living cost, Miss?
So if we can go back a couple more slides, I have the cost breakdown at main campus. So here's the annual cost. This is just for main campus. So you have your tuition and fees, your health insurance, and then your living expenses. So living expenses is going to include your rent if you're renting off campus, or your dorm expenses if you're living on campus, your meal plans, your food, that kind of thing, and kind of general living expenses. Tuition and fees, that's all of your tuition and then any student fees. So you pay some fees to like use the University of Arizona library and to use the recreation center, things like that, and technology fee, that kind of stuff. So that's all within that cost. And then health insurance is mandatory for international students.
Okay, Miss. right on to the next question from Sebastian Pramuji. It could be answered by Mr. Marshall or Miss Hillary because I can make it two questions. So for the first one, I want to ask if Sampoerna University has a medical school and what are the requirements, sir?
Sampoerna University does not have a medical school.
Okay, how about Arizona University, Miss?
We do. We have a medical school. We have pre-health programs. So you actually do a pre-health undergraduate degree before you qualify to go to medical school. But we have one in Phoenix as well, which is the city north of us. We also have nursing. We have a very good public health program and other medical related fields.
Okay, how about related majors such as animation, design, and etc.? Miss Hillary first, and then maybe Mr. Marshall.
Yes, we have a whole fine arts school. So drawing, sculpting, dance, theater, film and television. We have a great center for photography. So we have a very good fine arts program on main campus. Yeah.
How about Sampoerna University, Mr. Marshall?
Yeah, we have a Sarjana degree in visual communications and design that's very good. We don't work with University of Arizona on that degree. It's just a local Sarjana degree, but we have the best facility in Indonesia. We've got a green screen motion capture studio. We teach artificial intelligence and virtual reality, as well as animation and design in that particular program. But it does just lead to the Sarjana.
Maybe you can share about the requirements, sir.
Yeah, to get admitted, if you want to apply to this program, whether it's just to pursue a Sarjana with SU or ultimately to do the 2-degree program with the University of Arizona, all we need is really basic proficiency test in English. And then we also offer, we require placement test in math. For English, again, we're looking at English proficiency at a level of around 61 on the TOEFL or IELTS 5.5. And then for math, we're really looking at readiness for college algebra. And so those are the 2 elements that we have that we require. You don't need to do an SAT or an ACT. When you join the Arizona program, you actually do it as a transfer in Jakarta. But the front door, we just require English and math proficiency.
Okay, sir, and Miss Hillary, I think we're heading to the end of this session, so I think we can still answer one more question for the last question, and maybe this question can be answered by either Mr. Marshall or Miss Hillary. So for the last question, are there any difference in terms of quality in particularly to do the program at UA directly or at UA Jakarta microcampus, sir, or Miss Hillary?
So Hillary, do you want to draw straws for that one?
I'll start and then if I miss something, can jump in.
All right, sure.
Yeah, so I can tell you, I'm also a student at the University of Arizona. I'm a PhD student. So I'm pretty familiar with how things are done at University of Arizona, but also I worked at our microcampus abroad for several years. And so I've seen how the courses are delivered overseas as well. I can honestly say that I think the students that study at a microcampus have an advantage. When you come to the US, especially in the first year or two, you're often in really large kind of lecture classes with a lot of other students. And it can be kind of hard, you know, if it's your first time away from home or if you're not that familiar with, you know, college teaching and learning, to really figure out what you're doing. If you're studying at a microcampus, you're studying with the same professors that are at the University of Arizona, but also with a lecturer in Jakarta who understands the students. They live there, they know, you know, what the environment is that you're studying in, what kind of jobs that you're applying for, what background you have, and it's much smaller classes, so they're getting to know you on a better level, and you're getting the benefit of an Indonesian, you know, location. Professors that are qualified to teach at University of Arizona, they're all vetted by us, and our professors are all vetted by Sampoerna. So you're getting the best of both worlds, and you're going to come out of this with 2 degrees that I think it's almost like being bilingual. You know, you can say to an employer that you've studied for a University of Arizona degree for an international curriculum. You've also gotten a local curriculum and you're familiar with Jakarta and Indonesia. So I think there's a real benefit to studying at a microcampus, sometimes more than you would get just getting one degree in the United States.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Hillary and Mr. Marshall. And as for the closing, maybe Mr. Marshall can give the closing statement.
Yeah, so again, just to build, because again, that's a really great question. And that's really a really good question to ask is, you know, what about the quality of the program versus the main campus in Tucson? I think Hillary really did a great job of talking about some of the advantages of studying in Jakarta. One thing that I think is really important to understand is that we are an American university in an Indonesian context. So that means that, yes, there are rules from the Ministry of Education that we have to follow, but we also follow US accreditation. And so when we hire faculty, we have to meet US accreditation requirements. When we teach courses, we have to meet US accreditation requirements. When we build facilities, we have to meet US accreditation requirements, which are much higher. And it's why the partnership works, because the facilities that we have are comparable to what you'd find in Tucson. Most of our faculty have PhDs. They're vetted and appointed by the University of Arizona. So the quality is there. I think what's interesting is you get a different kind of context, which can be really helpful. So I'll close with that. And again, I really appreciate the opportunity to spend some time with you this morning. And thanks again for you. You were a great moderator. So thanks.
Thank you very much, sir, because I can really feel the enthusiasm of the audiences here, sir and Miss, but unfortunately, we must close the session right now. So for our friends, the audience, if you have more questions to be asked either to Miss Hillary or to Mr., and then you can just directly visit Sampoerna University's virtual booth in Canisius Edu Fair 2020 app, and then you can ask everything there. Okay, so this event is supported by Okay, I'm Emmanuel Otniel together with Miss Hillary Fence and Mr. Marshall Scott and all the staff. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant day and stay healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Kasih.
Bye-bye.
Bye.